Changing the color of the company logos has to be approved, but the director Steven Soderbergh did it without asking, and neither Warner Brothers nor Village Roadshow Productions said anything about it. Films are usually shot out of order, but this opening scene was actually the first scene shot in the film. This is the last shot of the film, and it was removed for test audiences but was then put back in to improve the pacing. The actors were just as confused as we were about what any of this tech talk meant.
A Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, two Jethros, and Leon Spinks.
Casinos are concerned about their image just as much as anybody, and Caesar's Palace didn't want a man to be shot dead right in front of the casino holding a pile of money. However, the producer Jerry Weintraub was able to get permission to do it as long as they filmed at 1 a.m. Weintraub was able to get the Bellagio to block off some of their casino floor for some interior shots. Carl Reiner got the role of Saul 5 days before filming this scene. The dog you see trailing way behind in last place was added in post-production to add dramatic effect to Saul's losing bet. One of the goals for this film was to make each of the 11 characters stand out, and they thought the best way to do that was to cast major stars in nearly every role.
First, we have to get within the casino cages, which anybody will tell you takes more than a smile.
This speech had to be perfectly timed to the graphic on the television, or else George Clooney had to start it all over again. Soderbergh accidentally laid a concept photo of the machine room upside down on his desk, and when he saw it, he liked it better that way and asked the production designer if he could build the room with the lights on the floor instead.
Oh, Bandy LA, ¿cómo está?
Andy Garcia was told about 5 minutes before shooting this scene that Benedict would speak 3 different languages to his guests. Garcia was lucky to find people on the set that could speak Mandarin, Italian, and French to teach him something to say. Andy Garcia and Julia Roberts are the last top-billed actors to be introduced, and it happened almost 45 minutes into the movie. It was a risk to introduce the antagonist and love interest this late into the story, but Soderbergh felt it was best to wait a while so the audience wouldn't get overwhelmed by introducing too many characters too quickly. In case you haven't noticed, Brad Pitt is eating something in nearly every scene. He ate somewhere around 40 shrimps before they finished filming this scene. Julia Roberts wasn't wearing her high heels for the tight shot coming down the stairs because they were too slick. They also shot this scene twice because the first time she wore a blue pantsuit, and Soderbergh didn't think she looked stunning enough. So they reshot this again the next night, and she was redressed in this red outfit. Don Cheadle's character couldn't answer this question.
No, but there's only one pinch in the whale big enough to manage it.
Where?
Because at the time, they didn't know the answer, because it hadn't been written yet. This scene was added in later because they needed a moment that gave the audience a definite impression that the heist was going to start. It also turned into a nice opportunity to set up the heart attack that would happen later. George Clooney's lines were written on these 2 guys' stomachs to help them get through the scene.
No cameras in this room.
A prank that happened on one take for this scene was when a camera guy who was about 5'3" and weighed 120 pounds walked through the door instead of Bruiser. Matt Damon punched in the number 1138 as a tribute to George Lucas's first big film, THX 1138. This wig Brad Pitt is wearing was used by Mike Myers during his rehearsals for Austin Powers. To get the effect of Vegas's lights going out, they shot the exteriors at dusk and edited them in post-production to make it look like nighttime. This shot took hours to get right, and 6 different people to try throwing it before they got the shot they needed. One goal they had for this movie was to not include any dangerous violence, which is why these guards get knocked out with gas, and none of the main characters ever get seriously hurt. These shots of Andy Garcia walking were filmed weeks apart, which shows the dedication he had to his character to establish a consistent rhythm for how Benedict walks. This famous scene was originally going to have the characters peeling away from each other while walking down a street. Soderbergh couldn't figure out the right way to stage it, and at one point he walked over to the fountain railing and stared at the water while trying to figure out what to do. That's when the idea came to him to change the scene to be at the fountain. In the first rehearsal, he let the actors line up however they wanted and also told them to leave whenever they wanted. So what you see in the final cut was based upon what they did during that first rehearsal. George Clooney and Brad Pitt had different lines written for this exchange, but they improvised with their own jokes instead.
I hope you were the groom.
Ted Nugent called. He wants his shirt back.
Some people in the test screenings believe the Bellagio fountain scene should have ended the film,
Hi.
but Soderbergh felt the story still needed more closure. He also didn't want the movie to end with the characters getting away scot-free. If you have a suggestion for a future video, let me know down in the comments, and if this is your first time, make sure to subscribe to learn more fun facts about your favorite films.